Hey guys, what's good, what's happening, and what's going on? Today is the day for Pride Ski. I'm just waiting for Joss to show up. I'm not wearing a jacket today. It's actually raining out, which is kind of stupid to do a skiing event, but hey man, I don't run the show. I just got to show up and film it. So I'm going to take you guys along. We're filming on the cell phone. Hopefully the audio isn't too kife and the video's okay. It's probably shaky because I'm shaky. So I don't want to bring the GoPro with me. I was going to bring it to strap on some of the skiers to get some action shots, but I don't think there's going to be much skiing today because it's raining out. It's the end of the season. I don't know why they scheduled an event like this at the end of March, but they totally did. And welcome to the shit show. It is what it is. I'm just waiting on Joss to show up so that we can head out to Mount Antoine in Mattawa, Ontario. And once she gets here, we're going to go. And I've never been there. I've never been to this ski resort. I know I fished a power plant near there, or a hydro dam near there off the Ottawa River. I think it's the Ottawa River. I could be wrong on that. But I've never actually been to the resort. I tried to find it last year. We went to Mattawa to go fishing. I couldn't find it, so not a big deal. Anyway, just waiting for her to show up. Gonna jump in her car, and then we're off. Seriously, the rabbits did one hell of a number on my bushes in the backyard, eh? Holy crap. That's like a good meter and a bit off the ground of just complete devastation on the cedar trees. I hope they don't die. I kind of like them for privacy. Well, hey guys, it's the next day, and I know I promised you guys that I was going to film during the event at Pride, but I kind of didn't have the chance to. I was so freaking busy doing everything else. Like, the moment I got there, I was pulled in every which way direction, between helping Joss out with setting things up and then having to get Kevin in the sky to film some of the stuff. And it was kind of brutal too. Like, I got Kevin up and I managed to film the Queens coming down the ski hill with smoke bombs. That was kind of fun. They had the drag show right after, so I had to get myself back inside to film the drag show. And we had to film some episodes of Pound Abbey, and it was just a brutal, like, it wasn't brutal day. It was an awesome day. It's just, I had to watch it all through the viewfinder of a Sony Handycam. Well, everybody else got to enjoy it. And it's okay. Like, that's what they hired me for, so that's what we did. Got back last night at about 7 o'clock at night. It's about an hour and a bit, or it's about 40 minutes out from North Bay. When Joss finally picked me up at noon, we got out there at about 1-ish, because we had to go pick up somebody else. And then we started production, I guess. It was a pretty good day, but very, very, very busy. Now, if you're wondering why I'm still filming with my cell phone and I'm not filming with my GoPro, it's because I turned off a setting on the GoPro where it auto powers off after 5 minutes of inactivity. And I did that when I was fishing so that, because I run it off a battery pack, a 10,000 milliamp hour battery pack, which can keep the GoPro running for a good solid 10 hours. No problems. Not recording, obviously, because I only have 5 hours of footage that I can take. But like if I ever did a scene where I was camping and I wanted to do something cool like an overnighter, and hit record, or mainly for the fishing, it's like if I don't want to film the boring stuff, but I end up filming the boring stuff and then I just cut it out. If I wanted to just turn off the camera and not have to worry about it, because not have to worry about turning it back on before I can record. Because one of the problems the GoPro has is if you're using an external mic and you just use the one button record, the external mic won't enable and you get no audio. So like when I do my car scenes, I don't want the GoPro turning off in the car. When I'm going into a store, just leave it running. I got it plugged into the cigarette port on the car, the USB jack. So it keeps the camera charging off the car battery. And then when I come back out, I can just hit record and the microphone settings don't get messed up or anything. GoPro Hero 10 and 9 don't seem to have that problem, but my GoPro Hero 8 films just as good as a 9. And a 10, well, it films better because it has that higher K resolution, but I always film in 2.7K, so who cares? Just made myself a coffee because I need one. And last night, so we get back from Pride. As we were coming back from Pride, I was mentioning, Joss asked me, like, so what do you got planned for the rest of the night? I said, honestly, I was going to put in a workout, but my legs are killing me because I never did so many stairs in the history of doing stairs ever as yesterday. That whole chalet is stairs. It's like, if you want to go outside to go down to the ski hill, you got to go from the chalet down a set of inside stairs to a patio, and then down another set of stairs, and down another set of stairs, and down another set of stairs. Now you're finally on the bottom floor. And then now you can walk out to where they're skiing. It's a nice building. It's a nice friggin' resort. Nice ski resort anyway. really well done. They got a lot of amenities there. They got the bunny hill, which is pretty, that's the one that I filmed with Kevin. And then they got the big hill, and they got another big hill. And it looked pretty cool, but I was not skiing. Last time I went skiing, the instructor taught us pizza French fry. So I pizzaed, I French fried, and then I couldn't get back into pizza, and I went full tilt like a Peterbilt down the hill into a tree, and realized skiing is probably not my sport. Nikki, however, is pretty adamant that I should be able to handle snowboarding. It's not that bad. So she's going to teach me one day how to snowboard, but obviously not this season, because all the ski hills, the one around the corner from me here, it's going to be shutting down today. Today they're doing their puddle jump. Not sure how they're going to pull that off. It's currently minus 11 out, and I'm pretty sure the puddle will be a glacier. But hey, man, I'm not the one doing it, so if the kids are doing it, have fun. So today for me is going to be some video editing. I do plan on putting in a workout. I'm going to try something a little different today. I was thinking about trying my buddy's workout. He work out one body part in the morning, one body part in the evening. Mind you, today I'm kind of writing off the morning because I woke up at noon. So I might work out one body part today and then tomorrow work out something different in the morning and then work out something different in the evening and then keep going all week and see how that feels. This is also my last week of working from home till we go back to the office. Well, until COVID picks up and then they tell us we got to work from home again. Because that's probably, well, right now there's a huge uptick in Ontario for COVID cases. So that's kind of fun. Ever since they reopened, it's kind of causing an uptick, which doesn't make sense because it takes 14 days for COVID to actually incubate. So I don't understand how the uptick just happened the following day after they released the mask mandate. But whatever, I don't write the rules, I just make them up. And we'll see how things play out. So still filming with my cell phone because I made the stupid mistake of leaving my GoPro powered on and not plugged into a charging device. And it's sitting at 3% battery. So that's the reason why I'm filming with the cell phone today, is because the GoPro is deader than a doornail. And, well, whatever. Not a big deal. So today's going to be a video editing day. I promised Jason that I would get shit done and then get it on the Google Drive. So pitter patter and have at her. Alright, guys. I just finished editing all the 4 Pound Abbey episodes. They are done like dinner. And now I can move on to filming the actual editing the Pride ski. Like I said, I had Kevin in the sky yesterday. I need to fly that thing a lot more. It's definitely a skill set that you need to acquire. And I'm definitely not skilled in flying a drone. Like, the footage turned out okay while I was trailing the queens coming down the hill with the smoke bombs. But I probably could have done better if I had more experience. One day I'll learn. Now they want me to fly the drone for Pride this September. But the problem is the geographical location where they're going to be having Pride. They're doing it at the Laurentian Ski Hill, which is just around the corner from my house. And the problem is, it's right in a red zone. I can't lift off. The drone won't let me. So that's what I told Jason. I'm like, well, I won't be able to do any drone shots because legally they won't let me because I'm in a no flight zone. And he's like, oh, just ignore that. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's the DJI software that'll prevent this. They signed an agreement with these, like with my aircraft, because it's below the 250 grams, I think it is, that I'm allowed to fly it without a license, but I'm not allowed to fly it in a no-flight zone due to regulations, and there's no override for that. Well, theoretically there is. You can get a hacked copy of the software and break the law, but I'm not about to do that. You know, I'm trying to keep things legit here on Skivinz, and when I'm doing the YouTube videos for Pride and all that, and like I've talked to them about it, like some of the videos that we shot for Pound Abbey, I did not edit because some of the comments made would have just created a lot of hate in the community. So I was like, listen, like, we're going to follow guidelines. I've been doing YouTube now for 12 years. I'm pretty good to know what they want and what they don't want. And trying to push the boundaries and put stuff up that they don't want is a great way to get your channel taken down. And if you do a lot of bad stuff on YouTube, well, it's a good way to get involved with the law. And nobody freaking wants that. It's like I watch a lot of these guys who do like bushcrafting and such on YouTube. And I watched a video the other day where a guy went into Canadian Crown land and literally started bushcrafting himself a fort and cutting down trees and burning a fire and cooking a steak and all this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, I looked into this because I was questioning if I could do this. Like, whenever I get my overlander set up for the truck with the cap on it and get my cot in the back and all that fun stuff, and we're ready to rock for a fun overlander trip, can I do that? Can I just go and harvest wood from the forest and have my campfire where I can cook my meal and chill, and then the next day, like I wanted to go to 20-Minute Lake and do that. Well, apparently there's a rule for harvesting wood. You got to get an actual permit, and in the end, it's actually cheaper to go to Canadian Tire and buy a couple bags of wood to burn on site than it is to go and chop down a tree and get the permit. So when I see people actually making videos of themselves out there bushcrafting and that, I'm like, wow, you're putting a video, and these guys have a lot of subscribers. So you're like, unless they have the permit and they just don't mention it, and then when the law gets involved, they're like, oh yeah, I got this permit, and they send the number and then it's okay. But if they're out there breaking the law and putting it on YouTube, that's not smart in my mind. Like, don't do that. It's like Fowler and Ovens when they went and did their 30-day survival challenge in a location that Ovens knew was a sanctuary, and they were catching fish and putting it online, and those videos are still getting a lot of traction. It always shows up in my recommended, even though I've already watched them all. It's literally you're giving them evidence to put you in jail or to fine the shit out of you, especially if you know what you're doing is wrong. Like, you got to be careful on YouTube. Things you film could be bad. Like people filming themselves drag racing in cities. You're literally giving the cops the evidence they need to friggin' charge the hell out of you, or to repo your possessions because of reckless driving. Like, you got to play it smart. And trust me when I say, being a YouTuber that's been doing this for 12 years now, 14,000 subscribers, and not climbing, I get the want to be the next YouTuber's top content creator. So sometimes you're going to try and press the boundaries and do some extreme stuff that's going to drive in the views, hopefully drive up the subscribers, and hopefully drive up the monetary gains. But there are things you got to consider. You got to consider the law. Just because you're making a video that's pretty badass and is going to get a lot of views doesn't mean the law doesn't come into play. And videotaping yourself doing illegal activities is definitely going to be a major no-no. So don't play victim if you're doing this and you get caught by the law and you serve time and or get fined for everything you own, because rules still apply on YouTube. And that's what I keep trying to tell the crew from Pound Abbey. Like, we got to watch what we do. You can't be out there making comments that are going to incriminate you. Like, it's not a good idea. I'm not saying they make comments that are going to incriminate them, but there have been a couple episodes where something was said and it kind of went off. And I'm like, listen, you're just going to drive hate to the channel. YouTube has a major policy on comments being created. Like, when you make a comment about a topic that you know there are two sides to, like, let's just drop the corona vaccination, for instance. There's people out there who are all about it. They're like, yeah, man, I'm so happy I got it. And then there's people out there that are like, there's no way in hell I'm letting you put that junk in my body. So when you drop a pretty one-sided comment on it, such as whatever, like, you know, your own opinion, and then you basically make fun of the people who are against your opinion, you're going to drive a lot of hate content to your channel. YouTube's going to pick that up, and they're going to flag the video. Worst case scenario, they just basically demotivate your channel, not monetize, demotivate, where it doesn't show up in recommendeds anymore, and they suppress your channel to the point where the only people who are going to find it are either subscribers, and sometimes they don't even find it, because when a channel gets suppressed, it won't even hit subscribers' timelines. The bell notification still works, but I'm pretty sure they're working on that. That was a fart. It basically makes it hard for you to grow your channel now, because they deem your channel as hate content. And that's actually one of the things when you're monetizing your channel. Like, since COVID, and they weren't able to have all the people looking at the channels to see if their videos were monetizable, they actually give you a questionnaire now when you upload. And something you have to answer is, do you have any coarse language in your video? Is there any firearms in your video? Is there any hate speech in your video? So on and so forth. And if you answer yes to them, like if you swear, but you're not dropping like F-bombs or really giving her. If it swears suitable for cable TV, they don't care. And you can actually answer that. You can say, they're abbreviated swears like F-U or gosh darn it or something like that. But like, if you're dropping F-bombs in that, well, it's going to be suited for a higher audience, like a mature audience, and it's not going to have monetizable capabilities, or it'll be or it'll have adult ads on it, like whatever. I don't know. I don't know what adult ads are. This is a thing. Like, they want you to grade your video and then they run a check on it just to make sure there's no DMCA activity on there, like copyright music, and then they let it go. And they've been doing that since the beginning of 2020. When I was with, when I had my monetization prior, before I lost in 2021, they were actually doing these questionnaires, and I thought that was kind of cool, that now we can get videos monetized faster because we're doing the job of somebody who was doing that job before. But before, the person doing the job was taking up to 5 to 7 days to actually say if the video was monetizable or not because the amount of content coming in. So YouTube's solution for that was, let us grade our own content. Until you grade your content wrong, it gets flagged, and then they take that away from you. And now you're waiting 5 to 7 days for that video to get accepted for monetization. Which kind of sucks because a lot of the views happen when your video first goes live. So if you're doing like I was doing before, where I'd film all day, edit all night, upload for 9 a.m. the next day, and away you go. Well, your video is not monetized when it first goes live, and then 7 days down the road, you kind of don't get much more views unless it's a really good video that gets featured, like my haircutting video did when I did the review of that orbital friggin' hair cutter. Only reason why that got reviews is because COVID was going on too long, beauty salons weren't open, and nobody could friggin' get a haircut, so they're all looking for different things, and they kind of went to my channel and saw that video, and well, it got a lot of dislikes. I don't really care though, because I do vlog style videos. I don't do demo reviews very often of different products, but I was actually tempted to go out and get some more haircutting stuff and just like kind of market on that, but then I was like, no, I don't want to be that guy. Anyway, I just made coffee number 2 here, so I'm gonna go pound this. Probably gonna do some weights today. I'm trying to decide on which body part, but then I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? I didn't work out yesterday, and I have an idea for a video that I want to shoot this over the next 3 days. It'll be a video of its own. So I'm probably going to do a full body workout today. Just get it over with, and then I won't be able to work out Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday because I need those 3 days to do what I want to do for testing purposes and to put it on YouTube. So anyway, back to Magic's Vegas where I do more editing. Peace out. Alright guys, still editing, but I took a little break from editing, so I wanted to try some stuff on the gaming computer. I saw that you can overclock an i7 6700K stable to 4.5 gigahertz, as long as you're not using the stock Intel cooler, which I'm not. I'm using a cooler from Corsair, which really does a good job. So I figured let's try and bump up the CPU clock, only to realize the motherboard won't let me go above 4.2 gigahertz. I don't know why, but it won't. So that option's out. And then I tried Red Dead Redemption just by itself to see what would happen, and guess what? It works fine. When I'm not streaming, it works fine. So then, being totally confused as to what the actual issue is, I was like, all right, well, let's bring the streaming application into the mix. So I threw OBS up, and OBS started NDI streaming to the actual laptop. And still, I was running around, drawing guns, shooting people, having a good old time, you know, and still, everything was working fine. Everything was great. So I was like, okay, well, what the frig is really going on here? CPU never went above 65% utilization. GPU was maxing out, but that didn't cause lag. That just meant the graphics card was doing what it was supposed to be doing, and that's okay in my book. And it was at this point I decided, let's fake a stream. I created a stream. Well, I made it disabled or hidden for testing purposes. And it was at that point there I found the problem. You guys remember when Google Chrome used to be the best browser ever in the history of ever? Okay, Google Chrome is officially the shittiest browser in the history of ever. I've never seen a more demanding browser in the history. It was great before.
Sorry, I didn't understand. But I found something related. Do you want to know, is Google Chrome the worst browser?
Oh, yes.
On the website Vox.com, they say, Google Chrome, popular but not very private. The most popular browser by far is Google's Chrome, so it's likely what you're using to read this article right now. But it's not the most private. In fact, it's widely considered to be one of the worst.
I love it when the hockey puck talks shit about its own products. That's fun. So for shits and giggles, what I ended up doing was I ran the stream in Microsoft's Edge because I don't have Firefox on that computer yet, just to see what would happen with CPU utilization. And guess what happened? The system ran fine. So I got literally two options for cleaning it up. Overclocking is not one of them. The motherboard I have is just too potato to overclock. It's an old MSI H10 board, built back in 2015, I guess, or 2014, I don't know. That's that computer that I got given to me. And by given to me, I meant Newegg delivered it to my house. Yeah, it was Newegg. Newegg delivered it to my house on accident. It's when I ordered the 960 video card, and for some reason they dropped off the 960 video card and that computer, and it made 0 sense why they did this. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. I thought it was a tower until I opened it and realized it was a full built friggin' i7 6700 computer with a Radeon 380 and 8 gigs of RAM. And I was kind of lost as to why this showed up on my house, but I contacted Newegg and told them, like, you delivered me a computer. What should I do with it? And they said, just keep it. Sometimes this happens. Whatever. Enjoy your free computer. Because I had full intentions on building one on YouTube and going through the entire process, which I'm tempted to do in an upcoming video. Like, I've been thinking about upgrading the gaming computer, but I'm also thinking, like, once it gets warm, I don't want to be sitting in that room when it's super hot playing video games, because I gotta have the fans on in the window, pumping all the heat out and stuff, and it makes a lot of background noise, and it's not exactly pleasant to sit through. So this summer there probably won't be too much gaming content, but next winter there will be. So I was thinking maybe start in August, picking up piece here, piece there, and gradually getting the gaming computer pieced up, or just saying screw it and going all in. Unless the price of video cards drop, just going all in and buying a pre-built like an HP or an Asus or something that's got all the specs I want, because a video card's gonna, like a 3600, 3700 or 3060 or 3070 is gonna run you about a bill to a bill 5, right? Where you can buy a pre-built Asus or a pre-built, and they get discounts on GPUs because they buy so many, so they can afford to actually throw in a decent video card and still sell the computer for $200 to $2,300. It's almost non-feasible anymore to build a computer unless you just need parts to upgrade. And originally my thought was I never had any problems on Red Dead with the 1070. She actually holds her own pretty damn good. It's just this problem with the lagging started recently, and I couldn't figure out why. Something on the computer was changed, and I didn't know what. So when I ran Red Dead by itself, CPU utilization never went above 57%, which is where it should be. And then when I ran Red Dead alongside OBS, it never went above 62%, which is fine because it takes 5 to 10% to render the image and transport it over NDI to its destination so it can be rendered and sent up to the streaming platform. That's okay. It was friggin' Google Chrome that was literally trying to consume 100% of the CPU just because it could. So sure enough, I throw the friggin' thing into Edge, and I'm getting I was capping out at like 70% CPU usage in Edge. Edge was the browser I've been making fun of. So Google, what the hell did you do to your browser? Why is it so freaking broken? Fix your shit. Seriously. I really do like using Chrome. It's always been my go-to browser, but lately, it causes issues on the editing rig where it'll actually disable the network card for some reason, and then like the network transport system shuts down completely, and then after 3 minutes the protocol's reset and I'm good to go. And on my laptop, it'll actually cause problems where the everything lags out. So you close out of Chrome, you kill all the processes, you reload it, and it's fine. Anyway, anybody in the audience who's tech savvy is probably saying, Adam, it's probably some add-ons you have installed. Maybe that's your problem. Maybe you should close all your add-ons, get rid of the ones that are faulty. And I did do that. I got rid of pretty much everything. I disabled every add-on in the system. I even ran it in safe mode. And it's still a power-hungry friggin' piece of crap. So I don't know what the problem is. Well, I know what the problem is. It's Chrome. Something broke in Chrome. It's funny, like my friend Jason, the guy who plays Geriatric on Pound Abbey, he had a Dell laptop, and he reported back to them saying, this is a piece of crap. It's slow. It doesn't work. So Dell... he had the on-site service. Dell sent out a technician to check out the computer, and sure enough, he deemed it was slow too while running Chrome. So their amazing troubleshooting diagnostics team just figured it's probably the main board. So they cracked the computer open, replaced the main board, and that didn't solve the problem. They tried everything they could do, and this was like an i5 1030U. It was like a underpowered laptop, kind of like what I have, like the 5700U. It's a low voltage portable laptop, right? Like a high, like I can use the on battery for like 8 hours and it's fine. So what they ended up doing after they did all their troubleshooting, they figured it was RAM, they figured it was main board, they figured it was, well, the main board was the last thing they swapped out. They tried RAM, they replaced the hard drive, and then they went main board and they're like, yeah, this thing's just a lemon, we'll replace it. And they gave him an i7, and the i7 was doing the same, and I was over there and I'm like, what browser do you use? And he's like, Chrome. I'm like, just for shits and giggles, don't use Chrome. We'll import all your settings into Edge and tell me how that feels. Sure enough, he does that. It's working fine. Everything's fine. He's like, I haven't had problems for weeks. And I'm like, yeah, there's something wrong with Chrome. They broke it. They somehow took an amazing product and turned it into shit. Like, who do they think they are? General Motors? So I don't need to upgrade my gaming computer. It's working fine now. The problem was software related. See, I was using MSI Afterburner to keep an eye on the CPU usage. I thought it was showing me the CPU usage for the application it was opening. No, it was showing me the CPU usage of the computer in whole. So now we know that it was my web browser that was being a greedy little mask and consuming as much data as it could possibly consume in the history of consumption. Good to know, right? Anybody else having that problem? If you're using Chrome, there's your issue. All right, guys, just actually did a workout and now it's nom nom time. Sticking to keto, even despite the comment that I got on a video a while back where somebody by the name of Netflix was like, you mean you're doing keto and you're still fat as frig? He used another word, but like, obviously you're doing something wrong. And yeah, I am doing something wrong. I was doing it since Christmas and that was falling off the wagon all the time. And now I'm literally sticking to fatty meats and above ground vegetables, as in no root vegetables. Because root vegetables got a lot of sugar in them. And sugar's bad, okay? Right now we're going to have chicken thighs for supper tonight and some cabbage. Should be good. Alright, so 565 grams of chicken and 165 grams of cabbage because I ran out of cabbage for frig's sakes. And it looks like this. Should be a pretty good freaking protein-filled meal. I do say so myself. Bon appetit. I'm gonna go eat. Alright guys, ate dinner. It was freaking awesome. And I got to thinking, like, I have an old computer back here that I'm not using. You may remember it. The Dell XPS 9000. It still works. I don't want to throw it out. So I have an idea to repurpose it. Basically, I'm going to give it away. Not in a YouTube giveaway. See, my friend Joss has this really old paperweight i5 that just doesn't work anymore. She got it back. Well, she says it's from 2005, but I didn't think the i-series came out till 2008. And she wants something better. Her i5 has been giving her nothing but troubles. And I don't use that i7. It's a 920, 2.6 gigahertz at 4 cores, 8 threads. Was a great system back in the day, but not so much anymore. So I figure I'll format the rig, get it all running up to date and everything, and then just give it to her because it'll get out of my room. It'll give me more space in there. I never use it. It's just taking up space. And part of the whole idea to liquidate garbage is to liquidate garbage that I'm not using. Like things I don't have any use for anymore. If somebody else has a use for it, here, have at her. You know, the other night when we did a stream, somebody was talking about it. They just got themselves a Xeon-based system with 6 cores, 12 threads. I actually have one of those upstairs. It's a Dell Dimension? I don't know. One of those business-made computers. I bought it a long time ago off eBay, and it was like $300 or $400. And it came with dual Xeon. Both of them are 6 cores, 12 threads, and they're actually not bad processors. They're only like 2.3 gigahertz. But compared to like when I got the gaming computer, I was editing video. Actually, no, not even the gaming computer. I started, when I got the gaming computer, I decided to try the XPS 8300 with the 960 for video editing and was like, holy crap, this thing's way faster than that multi-threaded computer. Like, this is ridiculous. And it's because those processors don't have a lot of the virtualization that modern video editing programs use. So the features weren't there. It wasn't effective. Therefore, I kind of just moved that computer over and made it into my file server. But then it broke down because of overheat, because it's literally packed with a cat. I just never got around to cleaning it out. So that one there, I'm probably just going to give away too, because I don't need it. Like that chick once said, if it doesn't sparkle, throw it out. A lot of my stuff doesn't sparkle anymore, so throw it out. On a side note, is anybody else disturbed by the fact that Lego men live in houses made by their own flesh? Just putting that out there. Something else was brought to my attention today is this bill passing in Canada called Bill C-11, the broadcasting bill, if you will. Now, this bill states that they want to focus on Canadian content, and they're going to be taxing online revenue, AdSense or whatever else you make money online, Twitch streams, so on and so forth. They want to start taxing it. Now, here's the thing. They already do tax it as an income, all right? Like last year, or back in 2018, I had to submit a form on AdSense where they'd withhold tax money. So basically, I was paying my taxes, but it was to US. and then I get a T014972 or whatever the frig number it is form. So when I file my Canadian taxes, I show them that this is how much money I made on YouTube, which is not much, and this is how much tax dollars they kept from it. So if you make like $150, you'll walk away with like 122 because they keep $30 in the US for taxes, but that goes towards the US tax department. So when you file your taxes, you have to claim your YouTube revenue because it's a form of income. But they say the US already deducted taxes, so it actually works a little bit better for you. The other thing they mentioned was YouTube, they're going to be changing the content so that you mainly see Canadian content. Now that's already happened on Netflix. Netflix Canada is the overpriced and underliked service ever because, let's face it, there might be a lot of Canadian actors out there, but they've all moved to Hollywood and 90% of the productions are done in the US with Canadian actors. So Canadian content is far and few between on Netflix, and they want 70% of that content to be Canadian. So I'm not sure exactly what we're going to get, but I'd be okay if it was a bunch of red-green episodes. So there's a lot of people griping about it online, about this bill, that it's going to hurt their online revenue. Personally, I don't care because I don't make my money through YouTube. Like I said before, I just do this as a hobby. It's something to do. The daily videos, it's something I do. It is what it is. Definitely not doing it for ad rev because I don't make much on YouTube. I just do this because it's fun to talk to a camera, and sometimes you guys have some pretty good insight on projects I'm working on, and it's nice to apply that insight. It's kind of like a hub, a communication hub. I'm having a problem, I tell you guys, and then you guys leave comments that are brilliant, i.e. the tap in the bathroom. That was awesome. And if you're wondering why I'm changing arms all the time while I'm filming, it's the simple reason that today's shoulder workout just completely destroyed my shoulders. So holding the camera high with my hand, because I'm not using my monopod like I normally use, or whatever the hell it's called, mainly because I'm filming with my phone still. It's basically, I destroyed my shoulders, like hard. I did friggin' laterals. I did rear delts and front delts to the point where they're pretty much failure, that washing my hair in the shower, what little I have left, was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever experienced in the history of experiencing anything. So that's why I keep changing arms. It's like holding the camera up high like right now. I can feel a burn. It's quite the delt workout. You should give it a try. 10 out of 10. IGN. Hey guys, I'm going to shut this video down here. If you have any questions about Bill C-11, you can look it up. I'm not too concerned about it because honestly, if they start blocking American content on YouTube, I got this great thing called a VPN. So I can become an American citizen one mouse click away. So it doesn't really bother me too much. You know, there's always a way they can push a policy, but there's always somebody who can figure a way around the policy and acquire what they want. So, like I say, there's great locks, but there's always a better lock pick. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, click that like button. Any questions, comments, concerns, down below they go in the comments section. You know where to put them. Give the video a like and all that shit. And until next time, live it to win it. Peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.